Hi, Shirley. Thank you for coming today.
Hi, Teddy.
It was
I'm
really
excited to be here.
it was really important to me. You know, 16 years ago, I had met Dale Young at Miami Children's. And when he moved over to Baptist, I said to him after doing a program at Children's, if you ever have any more ideas, call me. And he did. He called me, and we ended up writing a program for bereavement. That was 16 years ago. And 12 years ago, after meeting you, I asked if you could be full-time a part of it in here with me because I was so impressed with you. And maybe you'd like to introduce yourself before I go any further.
Hi, I'm Chaplain Shirley Brown. I'm a bereavement chaplain on the ground working with faith-based communities, beside other things, health and wellness, and as well as faith health, helping people with chronic illnesses who are living at home and helping them to manage their illnesses. But my main focus in my ministry is on bereavement, offering bereavement support to people as they go through a season of bereavement, when they're through an accident or homicide, suicide. Those are some of the areas I work in, and they're very dear to me. That's one of my passions, is working with bereaved families.
And very well done, I might add. Well, the last 12 years have been remarkable. With the help of a lot of supportive services from the office at Baptist, and certainly with Dale Young backing us up, we have over 60 groups running in churches right now and in synagogues and faith-based that offer support, and maybe you'll talk a little bit about that, for people who are in bereavement, survivors of it. And amazingly enough, I did my dissertation on complicated mourning in 1992. And I believe it was your idea to start doing the workshops on complicated mourning.
Yes, it was. I mean, we just saw increase in gun violence in the area, particularly in North Miami, over in Overton. I call it all the cities: Liberty City, Carroll City, Miami Gardens, down in Goulds. We just saw increase suddenly of gun violence in the area, and those families that are left behind, the aftermath of what they go through when the cameras stop rolling, it's unheard of. They're left behind to deal with their own private trauma following losing a loved ones to in such a brutal way.
And of course, both of us are like first responders in a sense, because I went to school to become a bereavement specialist. Although I'm a clinical psychologist, my claim to fame is God put me through school in order to start my practice in Pinecrest. I have a private practice, as you well know. But I see probably 80-90% losses, death, divorce, and so on. But I'm here today with you to talk a little about near and dear to your heart and my heart. In 2014, and that's 2 years ago, my son committed suicide. He killed himself. He shot himself in my office. It was very, very painful for me. And I think that it's painful for anyone family member or friend. There seems to be a lot of guilt and shame surrounding it. And we talked about possibly doing some luncheons or some workshops besides being in one-to-one practice. And I know you lost a friend also to suicide. Maybe you'd like to share a little about that.
Yes, when I first came into the bereavement program in 2003, one of my first cases was a dear friend of mine who took his life. We had known him for a long time, his family and I noticed that he was going through some depression. He was just not himself. And we were wondering what is going on. His wife, asked him to see a counselor, and he will shrug it off. And he said, I can handle this myself. You know how men do.
Yeah.
And so he went on about, his business, trying to handle things himself. And 3 weeks before Christmas, he took his life. Everyone was shocked. We were numb, the family. We were wondering, what was the reasons behind him doing this. And of course, the family left behind again is going through their own, ups and downs, the roller coaster we talk about a lot in our training, trying to grapple with why he would kill himself. And dealing, of course, with the guilt and the shame, wondering what people think, because there's such a stigma, social stigma behind suicide. That's one of the social stigmas. So the family often feel that they're to blame. They should have seen this coming. And especially when they saw no sign, it's like something that blindsides you, And so I continue to support this family today.
That just reminded me of when my son died. It was unbelievable because I found him upstairs in a pool of blood with a gun by his side. And of course, there were a million police, all kinds of people outside, ambulances. And all I could think about was my son lying in this pool of blood. And I had 2 hours of answering questions from a detective. I knew enough not to walk in that room as much as I wanted to. I wanted to go over and just pick him up. And later on, I had to do that in my own mind and put all that blood back in his body in order to survive what I was going through. But the horror of the scene, if you've witnessed it, and if you haven't witnessed it, you have all this magical thinking of how you should have known, how you could have prevented it. Actually, my son, Ted, had no depression. He had only the anxiety, death anxiety, and his father at the time was, and still is, very, very ill. And he had returned from a trip. But I don't think we can ever make sense of it. Everyone sees it differently. We both have websites that we're going to be offering. I'd like to have a couple of the folks who knew him and how they felt about what happened to him. And I've asked them to come in today to share with us.
I miss Teddy.
Well, you knew
he
him.
was part of the training. He would always come down. Of course, he always joked around and clowned around with me, and I always looked to see his face when I came to the trainings, and he always helped out with the trainings.
He did the dishes.
Yeah.
That's what he
and
did.
Gave us ice cream.
And
I
ate all the
remember him
food.
coming with the bowls of ice cream. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I really miss him, and he was part of us. He was part of what we were part of.
Well, he'd be sitting on that balcony in that chair waiting for you to come so he could wave to you.
And the others that were participating and guiding them, because a lot of people often got lost in the parking lot. And,
That's right.
He was up there like a watchman on the wall. So
like directing traffic.
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to invite Jean and Phil in and let them share a little bit about him.
Sure hard to believe, isn't it, Gene?
Yeah, Ted came into us and really lightened up the whole building, didn't he?
Yeah, I sure do miss him. He should have lit it up. God, I can all remember all those antics with him.
Him sitting out on that chair on the porch.
Yep, talking to everybody. He's always in an upbeat mood. That's the thing, always in an upbeat mood.
And all the customers loved him. They got a kick out of him saying hello.
Everything.
And his clients were really happy with him.
He had a bunch of clients, yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of workouts. He really worked them. I think they worked on you too one time.
He worked on me, yeah. He gave me a couple of stretch exercises, and I was in traction for a good 2 weeks, Gene. You know that. You remember. I was in your office and he twisted my legs. Remember,
But he was good.
Put me up against the wall. But you know what? He got rid of that pain I had in my leg and in my back.
That's what everybody said that came to see him.
That's true.
It's hard to believe we lost him the way we did because he was just so outgoing and seems so happy, you know?
Yeah. Disaster happened, and I don't know how that happened because it's the furthest thing from our minds.
Yeah, it was very hard to believe because he was always...
Still don't believe it.
Still, you know, even the last few days before he passed, he was in and out of our offices.
Always.
Clowning around
Always.
and
He'd follow
everything.
us
We
to
had
the
a ball.
office and him cracking jokes and all that stuff. I mean, I tell you, I just can't believe it when it happened. I just can't believe it. Dr. Tar, when she came in and said something's wrong with Teddy, I couldn't believe it because we had no clue.
No, because
the
I mean
only
he
time
was...
that he was ever, not even depressed, but he felt bad when he went to see his father, and his father was sick.
Yeah.
He came back and he said, "My father's sick," and he felt real bad. I knew it because he was watching cartoons, but he wasn't ended up there. But that was a long time before this.
Yeah, but see, I thought he pulled out of that.
He did. He was
Remember,
getting
and then he was
better.
happy again and
Yeah.
everything. And
You got him out of that because he was in
You
the
know.
office. We were laughing so hard. I had to leave. We couldn't stop laughing.
yeah, no, we had him going, and
Yeah.
he was really seemed like he was happy again, and he was feeling better.
And he
Because-
had that Willie Nelson tapes he liked.
Yeah,
Yeah, we played the Willie Nelson tapes.
he had a little trouble with that vertigo, but he was starting to get over it a little bit, and he was
Yeah.
able to work with his customers again,
Yeah.
and that was really important to him. Not letting them down.
No, he was
Very
right there.
conscientious.
The clients used to let him down. He used to wait for him when they would cancel, and he'd
Yeah.
sit there and wait and be patient. And he was always there for his clients.
What do you
He did
mean?
a good job. He worked. He tried to get you, but you wouldn't
What
do
do
it.
you mean? He had me walking around the parking lot.
And he had the people going up and down these steps.
Yeah,
remember?
I got out of that, but
Sean.
he wouldn't let me at it walking around the parking lot.
He had Sean going up and down a step to try to lose weight. Remember that?
Oh
time?
yeah, I thought Sean was going to leave
Sean, I
us.
thought he was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought we were going to lose him.
No, but he knew
'Cause-
just how to bring you to a certain point and then say, no, okay, that's good. Drink some water and relax now. He knew
Yeah.
just how to bring you to that brink of overexertion. And
Yeah, he was
stop it.
epitome of a good trainer. He really was.
Yeah. And not only that, the whole building, the whole building.
His
Lit up
personality,
when
it's
he was
just,
there. He
it's
was
just his
just,
personality.
And he was always there. Being a bondsman and an investigator, coming at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes he'd come in. I got a client coming in at 5. That doctor that he used to see
Yeah.
before he went to surgery, he'd come and see Teddy at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
I said, Teddy, don't you ever sleep? He goes, no, I got clients need me at 4 o'clock in the morning before they go to work. He said, and they're ready to go all day long. I said, if I came at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'd fall asleep. At 6.
that's true. I was just in shock because I
I
figured
thought maybe he
something.
wasn't feeling good because Teddy
it
said,
was
Dr. Tarr said, came to your office, we
Yeah.
were having coffee. And
right.
she said that, I think something's wrong with Teddy. So I just thought maybe he wasn't feeling good or something. So when you went in there and you told me, you all.
Well, I was in
I couldn't
shock
believe it.
because he was in such a good mood on Friday. I said, somebody had to been in this building,
Yeah, and he's never taught. He never talked about anything like that. Like nothing violent.
There was never negative.
Nothing negative.
He never
And
talked
to end
negative
his
in
life
front
with
of
a
me.
Gun
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
So it's hard to believe, It really is.
It is hard to believe. And if we had any idea, Gene, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, Carl's not here, but Carl he was sitting the Friday. He died on Monday, and on Friday he was on the balcony. Carl was talking to him. I was out there fixing my window. I said, I'll see you tomorrow or Monday, because he used to see my car go across the highway. He'd be on the balcony, sitting in the chair, waiting for his clients, and whoever pulled up in the parking lot, he knew who they were. But he says, hey, Phil, I saw you going across US 1. You're going down to the jail. I said, that's right, Teddy. He saw everything.
No, but he was always there for people like
He was
Carl.
always
Carl by himself. He'd go in and spend an hour with
And
him.
if you asked him for anything, he would do it. If you whatever you
And
wanted,
then I went to
he'd do it.
Carl to have somebody to come in and say hello and talk to him
Yeah, he
every
liked
day
it.
like
Carl
he did.
liked that. 'Cause, Carl likes to talk.
Yeah.
And
Carl's 93, and it meant a lot for him.
Yep.
It really did.
yeah, Carl, I'm surprised he's. He took off today, but I mean,
Yeah.
he really missed him. He really got I didn't see Carl that upset until he lost Winston, the cat. Remember?
Yep.
He had this cat for like 25 years.
Yeah.
But the whole building, I know you, me, everybody in the building here upset. We still talk about it after what, 2 years?
Yep. And that chair on the patio.
That chair is still up there. I still see him up there when I'm driving up.
Because all the people want to see it when they come.
He knew everybody.
They want to see his chair.
He knew everybody. That's the thing. He knew
Yeah.
everybody, Gene. But the thing of it is, how can you understand that when nobody has any clue?
Yeah. How can you figure it out?
Because he was himself, the way he was all the time that we've known him, and he never gave us any clue he would do something like that. He never said, "Look, I'm depressed and I don't feel like living" or anything like that. Nothing like that. I guess
No.
people that do that, I don't know how he just
Yeah.
did it. I mean, he knew we all liked him. I mean,
It's true.
He had all the friends now. He let us all down in a way that, because we never had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, really.
Never had a chance to say, look, you know, if whatever the problem is, we'll try to help you.
Yeah.
Your mom's a doctor; she can help you. But he never
He
gave
never
us
let,
any
he
of
never
that,
he never gave anybody any idea.
Nope. He was always upbeat, and never was a down that way. You know?
In my mind, he was just built for everybody else, not for himself. It was for everybody else.
Yeah, he was. He always helped everybody. He helped everybody, and I guess maybe he didn't know how to help himself. I don't know what was going on in his mind. I don't think anybody would know.
Yeah.
Not even his mom, because it just. The only thing I can say is the only time I ever saw him upset was when he said his father he wanted to see his father.
Yeah, he
But
told
he got over
me,
it.
told me the same thing. It took a while, but he got over
I
it.
know that. I said, well, you know, Teddy, you know, I lost my father and mother too, and it's not easy. I said, you know, whatever you need. I said, you just got to work through it and take a day at a time and put your hands in whatever faith you believe in and hope for the best and pray for your dad.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. You can only do so many things physically with people. But if he had come and told us something like that, we might have been able to somehow talk to him. But he never gave us that inclination.
Well, he's always going to be in our memory.
Yeah. I'll never get over that. That's just never get over
And
it.
everyone in the building.
Yep. He went far too soon.
The only thing we got to say, though, is we got
Got
good memories of
We
him.
did.
And that's worth $1 million.
That's right. That's what I said. We said that before. I got a lifetime of memories, you know, with him.
And a lot of the
Because
people in the
every day,
building feel the
every
same.
day, you got a lifetime of memories. And that's all you have.
A good man.
A lot
To
of
lose him so young, that's what the shame is.
Yeah, it was a real shame.
So Shirley, what did you think of Gene and Phil and their comments about Ted? Because you knew him a little differently.
Yes. Well, I learned a lot about Ted. Well, some more things about Ted, but his friends really cared about him. They loved Ted. I can see that. And they're so hurt that, you know, he took his life. I heard that in their talk. But they had some wonderful memories to share, particularly the one about the car and the mechanic. But I can tell they had some great, wonderful, memorable times with Ted in their conversations together, working together, you know, in the building. Wonderful, wonderful, caring friends. What are friends for, like they say?
Yeah, how great to have a personal trainer who just moves between your office, you know, whenever they have their break.
Yes.
Shirley, thank you so much for coming today. And I know we're going to have both our websites, and that has all our contact information on it. And certainly about both of us have articles about suicide, and
Yes.
and we're there with our emails so we can answer any questions if
Absolutely.
someone wants any information. And I can only tell you that all that's left of those memories, if you haven't worked through the grief and you haven't learned how to live with it, you never get over it. They were
No.
very clear about that 2 years
Yes.
later.
Yeah.
They're still talking about it. And
Yes.
every once in a while they'll tell me they think somebody came in and killed him. Oh, how I wish that had been so. I think I could have lived with that better. And maybe
Yes.
not.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, I think whatever you have, you have.
Yes. Well, both is a shock. Either
It-
way, whatever.
Either way.
It was sudden. It was unexpected. You were not
Eventually-
prepared. Yeah,
Eventually,
were not
you have to
prepared.
accept
Yeah.
it's a loss, no matter how it
Yeah.
happened.
And they kept saying they had not a clue. And this is one of the key ingredients of when we talk about suicide is the family being bewildered because they felt that they should have seen this coming, like I said before earlier. They would have seen some signs, something to show the person what they were planning to do, or the person would have slipped and said something. But that's what left them befuddled, I think. But
And you know what it does to, to people in the field like you and I. We have practices. We have other people to take care of, and I felt like I was all over the place with my
Yeah.
clients.
yeah,
I didn't know how they'd react
yeah.
to me losing a son. If I couldn't keep my own son here, why should I be seeing them? And I had to work
Well,
through
the
all
whole
that.
support network was very concerned about you and for you, Teddy. We wanted to be there and wanted to call you every day,
Oh.
just be in front of your door
So
every
private.
day. I know.
I'm so
and
private.
we wanted to care for you
I know you
because
do.
you were always there for everyone, and you're sitting here with people that are going through hardcore grief, PTSD, all those things, and we wanted to be there for you.
And
as
only the
well.
bereaved wears the
Yes.
watch and knows how
Yeah.
much contact they need and whether they need
Yes.
somebody. And
Yes.
sometimes, you know, you have to do your work for yourself. Thank you again. Our websites, again, we're going to put them up, and
Yeah.
I hope
And we're planning on doing something maybe possibly in July, hosting a workshop on particularly this theme.
could happen. Thank you again for tuning in to
Stay
us.
tuned, everyone. Thank you for listening to us, and we love you.
God be with you.